wish you'd understand. I just wish that God had a better plan. I'm so confused. I need a redo. Inside of me that's begging and begging and pleading. I just wanna feel free. I just wanna feel lovely. I'm surrounded by love that's in pain. Can I wipe your tears away? Please don't hurt for me. I hate that it's for me. It's for me.
Hi, welcome back to the MS Michigan Man 64 podcast, where I am trying to spread awareness about what it is like to live with chronic disease. I've been living with multiple sclerosis for the last 28 years. I talk about my journey as well as the journey of other chronic disease warriors all over the world, just to try to help people understand what it's like going through that diagnosis, how it affects our lives, and how it affects our careers. Today, I am sitting down with a return guest. I spoke to this beautiful lady a couple of times on my original channel before I joined up with Hale Media in episode 4 and episode 46. Tilly is an amazing lady. She's from the British Columbia, Canada. And when I first met her on TikTok, she was kind of new in her diagnosis. She was diagnosed in 2020, and I just seen a lot of fear in her, but I knew that she was a strong lady, and we kind of developed a relationship over the last couple of years. I'm really good friends with her, and I know her daughter really well, and she wanted to come on just to continue talking about her journey with her MS diagnosis. So please welcome back to the podcast, Tilly. How you doing, T?
I'm good, Brian. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right, sweetie. I'm doing all right. So, T, I know we met each other a couple of years ago, and we talk almost every day. You know my wife really, really well, and I know your daughters and your son. I know of him. I haven't met him yet, but I just love everything that you're about, and I know that you're a hard worker and you never quit and you never give up. When we recorded that first couple of episodes, and if you wanted to go back and listen to Tilly, like I said, it's episode 4 and 46. But since then, T, I know that you've had some issues with your medications and all that, and with your MS, and it's the Canadian systems a lot like the U.S. system. You know, we have problems with the pharmacies, but just kind of like catch us up with what's been going on with you since the last time that we talked.
So I guess when I went to go get my last infusion there was a screw up, and they usually send it to the clinic where I get it done. And no one told me on the phone to go get it at my pharmacy. So I had to postpone. I showed up at my appointment and then didn't have my medicine. And they're like, do you have it? I'm like, no. So I had to rebook it. And they got me in quite quickly. So it was like the next week, which was amazing. Because, when you're booking those appointments, there's other people in front of you. So it's hard to get in.
Yeah.
And I was able to get that straightened out. And I've tried a few medicines where I was trying to give myself energy. Modafinil, you know that one?
Yeah, I've heard of it. But yeah.
Heard of it? Yeah. So anyways, I had to go off of that one because I would go from like 0 to 100 and then I'd crash in 2 hours and have to take a nap. So it was, some complications there. And I've added some more supplements. Actually, it's called Super Belly. And I find that one is really good for my MS and helps to like my belly health kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. T, when I know when you first went through you were going through your diagnosis when we were first meeting each other, and you were still trying to figure things out, and that's what I really admire about you, is just the way that you like never quit. And I know that you were really, really big into fitness and all that, and you did not the Ironmans, the what are those things called?
I used to CrossFit.
That's what it is, CrossFit. I know you were big into CrossFit,
Yeah. And then I used to run.
yeah, and MS has kind of screwed that up for you. And I know that you would love to get back into that, but I mean, you didn't quit, and you didn't. You said screw you, MS, and you got into this like
Mhm.
the Tabata, and you're still in the weight room, and just talk about how you have figured out how important that exercise is since you've been diagnosed, and how it keeps you going.
Yeah. So when I first got my diagnosis of my MS, I think I went into like a spiral of depression at first because when you get your diagnosis, it affects your mental health and all that kind of stuff. So when I first started out, I was just starting out with little movements and I even just sitting exercises and stuff like that because I could only stand up for like 2 minutes at a time, walking, dragging my left leg. It's pretty scary. So I just started doing these exercises, and eventually my body started to get stronger and stronger and stronger. And within 2 years, I was able to get myself back to work and just keep doing these exercises every single day, and it just keeps my body going. And if it weren't for this exercise, I'd probably either be in a wheelchair or I'd have a walker.
T, when
So,
when we first met and you were struggling still, and because you weren't back at work yet, and I would see your workouts, and I would see, your left side was weaker and all that, but and every time you post a video, whether it's on TikTok or Facebook, and I watched that video over the last couple of years, I'm like, hey, T's having a good day, and I can see that left leg keeping up with the right leg, and it's because you put the work in, and I know that there were days when I would talk to you and you would be like, Brian, my legs they're not having it today. And, I would be like, hey, T, take a day off. You know your body. And if your body's telling you to take a day off and get back at it tomorrow. And that's pretty much what you do.
yeah, exactly. And also the community on TikTok, all the MSers, I started to watch all their videos and I started to watch their journeys. And even, with all your podcasts, listening to everybody else. And it just kept me going. Um, and even just being able to show people that exercise is beneficial and help them. And I've had people message me, reach out to me and just say, thank you so much for just being you and how hard you work on yourself and how strong you are. And you're a true warrior. And, it's been amazing.
It makes you feel good just knowing that, just showing people that you can't quit. And, you get them positive comments back to you. And I get them too. And I'm not in the gym working out, but I mean, just in what I'm doing, just talking about the MS, because I just think the community is so important because people don't understand this disease. And when you're newly diagnosed, you're scared. And, I always say, I was kind of stupid. I didn't want anything to do with social media because I'm an older guy, but that community is so important. It's just important for the mental part of it, the mental health part of it. And I've always said that that's the hardest part of this after diagnosis is what it does to your mind. It just beats you up.
Yes, that's right. And I was on a bunch of antidepressants, which I got off of all of them because they absolutely didn't work and I was having massive side effects. And now I'm just happy, the endorphins from working out and from having all of you support my journey. It's just been amazing. And that you're my friend and I can reach out and you just tell me to keep going, keep showing up. And that's what I do. I just keep going.
And and another thing that I don't know a lot of people if they really know this, but you're the mom of a beautiful little girl that is, you're trying to get her diagnosed on the autism spectrum, high functioning. She's a very, very smart girl, but she has signs of being on the spectrum. And, you've been struggling with that for a couple of years now, T. And I just think that that's another thing like MS, it's like an invisible disease. Addie looks like a beautiful, normal little girl, but she has sensory issues. And I've actually witnessed them talking to her on the phone. And, I can understand it because I have a stepdaughter that's on the spectrum. So I understand autism. But I mean, just talk a little bit about what you're going through now with trying to get Addie seen, and she hasn't even gotten actually diagnosed
No,
yet.
not yet. No, we're on a wait list. It's about 2 years before you get someone to like actually check her out and make that final decision and diagnosis. And so it's been really hard because when there's a bad day at the school, they call me to go get her, and it's frustrating because like I'll be at work and it's like I have to either leave work or I have to take the day off of work because of her not being able to go to school. And it's really frustrating. And now they've decided that I have to pick her up half an hour earlier than before the kids get out because it's just easier that way. And I just feel like they don't have stuff put in place. Like, because I remember even when I was in school, I was in a learning class, like a learning disability class, and they had things in place back then. So I'm not understanding this whole new, like, oh, we have to wait for them just to help and just to get that diagnosis so that she gets more help. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. And it's really frustrating, And even just taking her to the grocery store, like, she's really good now. Like, I have really good days with her.
Yeah.
But then you're at the grocery store and she's having a meltdown and it's just overwhelming and I'm embarrassed. And even just at the school, sometimes when I drop her off, some of the moms stare me down.
Yeah.
It just makes me feel awful.
I know it. I just don't understand it. I mean, I didn't really understand. I knew what autism was before I met my wife, but after I met her, I just learned so much more about autism and how there are these wide ranges of, high functioning, low functioning. And, a lot of these kids that are higher functioning, they're getting kind of labeled by society as a bad kid or a bad parent. It's sad. It really is sad to know that there's ignorance around autism just as much as there is with MS.
Yeah, I'm just hoping that I will be able to get her diagnosed and get that system put into place where she gets extra help.
Yeah. And, and I'm in the United States and it's the same way over here. You're in Canada and you're telling me about what's going on in Canada. I mean, it just doesn't seem like it's a country problem. It's like a world problem because I hear people over in the UK, they go through the same thing with their kids. So, I mean, this is something that this needs to addressed at a world level, just the way that they're diagnosing these kids or missing them, really.
Yeah, exactly.
So let me ask you this, T. I know that, with you're being a single mom and I know we've been through a lot of the last 2 years, just relationship wise, I'm cheering you on. I want you to find a guy that, treats you right, and understands MS and is going to want to learn about it if he doesn't have it or doesn't have any knowledge of it. And I seen you struggle with guys that just didn't treat you right. And I know that finding a relationship with a chronic disease is not an easy thing to do.
No. And I've learned a lot over the years, especially when I left Addie's dad. He was very abusive. He's no longer in her life. And that's the way I want it. I don't ever want him to come back. But when I got my diagnosis, told me that no one would ever love me and that I would never be appreciated by a man. And he treated me like shit. And it was just a really tough relationship. So when I got out of that, I was traumatized. So I went through like a year of like therapy. In the meantime, I did meet a guy and I thought that he was actually the one. And it turns out that he just wanted me for other things and I was never good enough, but he would just keep saying, keep going. And then he would like tell me I did something wrong. And I was just fighting to just have approval and just be appreciated. And I never could get that from him. And it was about 2 years, I guess, on and off, right?
Yeah.
Just recently in the last month and a bit, I did meet a guy who I really like. And actually we did go to school together, which is funny. But it's really different just getting to know what is actually acceptable and how he actually is like supporting my journey and stuff like that. And like on my videos and it's just really caring. And it gives you a different perspective. And I'm really grateful that I met him.
I know that I've been with you the last couple of years through those past relationships. And, I was sitting there. I mean, of course I was cheering you on, but I didn't think that those guys really understood the disease but you liked them and I was supporting you. But the guy that you're seeing now, everything that you tell me about him, I'm like, T, man, I love it. I love it, man. I mean, this guy actually sounds like he's willing to learn about it and go through the journey with you. And I can't wait to see what it's going to go into because I think the initial that you're going through right now is it's awesome. This is such a different relationship than what I have watched you go through the last couple of years.
Yeah, it's more of like learning that relationships can be healthy
Yeah.
instead of toxic.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's sad too. I mean, when you're just, all you want to be is you want to have companionship. You want to have a relationship, and you get diagnosed with a chronic disease, and you're with someone and you're dating them, and they just don't get it. They're saying that, well, hey, if you do this, maybe this will cure you. And, you're like, no, there's no cure. I just want you to understand and support me. And because I watched you go through that with the last couple of
Yeah, like
relationships.
with that ivermectin.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Like, you should take ivermectin. It'll cure you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that pisses me off. They don't understand. They just, I mean, I guess he was carrying that way a little bit, but that was just ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, but the fact is that you didn't give up, and I know that you met the guy that you're dating now. You met him online, and it was just kind of cool, that even though you're not doing it the traditional way or however to meet somebody, you're not giving up, and you went online and you found this guy, and then you find out that he went to your high school, and you're like, holy shit, Brian, I went to high school with this guy. I'm like, damn, that's freaking awesome. And it just everything aligns with the stars. I know that you're big into that, and it's
Yeah,
aligned.
and like I straight up said I had multiple sclerosis because I was like, if you're gonna talk to me, I'm gonna tell you right now I have MS.
Right.
I don't beat around the bush. I'm not gonna show up on a date and be like, it's going good, and then don't tell them for like a couple dates. That just isn't my character.
So let me ask you this, T. I know that you have a physical job. You've been there for 15 years, where you're at, the company you're at, and it's not an easy job. How is your MS affecting your ability to work? And I know you're still plugging on every day, but how's that going with it?
There's days where it goes really good, but I'm weight restricted, so pulling heavy weight is really hard on my body. And so I have to get like a doctor's thing. It's called an FAF every 2 months for restrictions at work, which is frustrating because I want to be able to do everything again. And it's hard on the body. And I have days where my balance is off and I have to tell them like, look, I'm not drunk. My balance is really bad today. Because you're pretty much you're swaying back and forth. You have to hold on to stuff.
You're losing balance, right? Yeah.
Exactly. And that's why I do these exercises, to keep the body strong.
Yeah.
And there's days, even the weather affects it. Like when it's cold, my body is just like, it feels like my bones hurt. Like everything is just hurting so bad.
Yeah.
And, so that's what's been happening lately is the weather's it's changing, right? We got winter now. And so the colder weather affects it. So when I go to work, I'm like, okay, am I going to be able to do everything good today or am I going to have a bad day? It doesn't matter if I have a bad day, I still push through. Sometimes when I walk, because I wear steel toes, after I take my steel toes off and I'm walking out to my car, I'm in so much pain sometimes and literally dragging out of the building like it's just a disaster.
Yeah.
So.
But like most of us, we keep on pushing, and I see you every day. You're going to work. I mean, you never call off. I even say sometimes, I'm like, T, just take the day off. No, I'm not doing it. I'm going. I got this. And
no, unless I'm like puking and really sick, I don't call in. And if it's to do with my children, I have to call in. But that's about it. I don't want to miss work.
No, because we love what we're doing. It's our purpose, and it's not like we want to miss work. And it's part of your identity. You've been there 15 years, 15 plus years, and you enjoy what you're doing, and you're figuring it out. You just keep on, you're a warrior. And every day, if MS throws you a curveball, you make adjustments and you keep on pushing. And that's what I love about you, T. Okay, T, so let me go back into the community part of it. Because I just think that is just such an important part of just to find that community on TikTok. But can you name me some of the groups that you hang around with? Because I know that TikTok, it's just like anything in real life. There's good parts of it and bad parts of it. And even with chronic disease, there's people that, just are kind of negative. But I just talk about more about the community part and how you use TikTok to manage your MS.
Well, I started following all these MSers and there's a few of them that stand out to me that are really special, especially Miss Spuckle. Her journey has been freaking amazing. She is a go-getter. She actually started her own company And I'm just so proud of her. And just watching her do her running and, how she deals with MS. And then there is this other one that I follow now, and his name is Big Josh. And I actually gave him a shout out the other day because I'm just so impressed. He keeps going, and he's very determined.
Yeah, I just
Like
started.
he's exercising.
I just started following Big Josh the other day. You kind of you sent his profile over to me. I wasn't following him, and I was watching some of his videos, and yeah, I mean, he seems like screw MS. I'm not quitting. I'm gonna keep on fighting, and yeah, he seems like an awesome dude.
Yeah, and it doesn't matter if, they have MS. It's just watching everyone's journey. Bose,
Oh yeah.
he's a freaking amazing.
Oh yes.
Like
Yep, I
he
know
can
Bose.
move.
Yeah, and Bose is like, and she's just trying to figure it out. I mean, she's like literally, she hasn't been diagnosed with MS, but she's got a lot of issues going on, and she's going to doctors, and she's trying to get somebody to tell her something, and it's just frustrating. It's frustrating that there's a lot of people like that out there that they're looking for answers and they can't get them.
Yeah. And it's just amazing to see how they push through
Yeah.
with, whatever is going on. I'm just so proud of a lot of them.
Yeah.
Just awesome.
And I know that we were talking earlier that we're both friends with the guy up in Alaska, Mike, the MS strongest guy in the world, or however he goes.
Oh my God. Freaking
I mean,
awesome.
I talk about him all the time. I mean, the guy before he got MS, he was 180 pounds. And now since he's gotten diagnosed, he's 270 and he's like rock solid muscle. And he just locked himself in the weight room. And now he's like this big power lifter guy. And it's amazing to see how people attack this disease. Even,
the stronger you are, the stronger you are, the more you can fight it. And honestly, I think with even the mental health part, dealing with my MS, I have figured out that I've always been a spiritual person, and meditation is the biggest tool for me. I do 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night of just meditating.
Yeah.
And it has helped me so much with, feeling okay and understanding this illness. And it's kept me going.
I've always meditated since I played football at the University of Michigan. That's where I actually learned to get into meditation and visualization. And I still use those tools today, T. I mean, I do it on a daily basis. I do it for a lot of pain management. I go into meditation mode and just to get through the pain, because, we have pain all day long, 24/7, and you got to figure out a way to how to manage this, and I'm a very big advocate of using meditation and using your mind. Your mind is so powerful. You can use it.
It is.
You can use it to your advantage, and it can be used to your disadvantage, and it could just tear you apart.
Exactly. And I'm now okay with my MS. I wasn't for a long time, and I can live with it.
Yeah.
Like I literally just go every day and I'm like, who cares? F you, MS. I got this.
Yeah.
The other thing I will say is that I don't like the negative part of it when you're watching people's journeys, and then there's some people that are just like, oh, poor me. I have MS, depression. But they don't try to see the positive side of it. And I hurt for them. I feel for them. But honestly, it's hard for other MSers that first get their diagnosis to see these other MSers that are depressed, when they're just trying to be like, okay, what do I do? How do I live with this? And, so when I get those messages from my followers saying, oh my gosh, you're such an inspiration. I can't believe how hard you work at this. And you made my day. They danced it out with me the one day. Like I've had people reach out and be like, you just danced, and I danced with you.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God, like that is so awesome. I love it.
I look at you and I know that I've talked to you before you put the video out and you're not having a good day. And then you're putting a video out where you're dancing, and I know exactly what you're talking about. You're dancing it out, and that's what you use as your tool, T. that everybody, you got to find that tool. It's something to take your mind off of this disease, because this disease that's the hardest part of this disease. The physical sucks, but the mental part is the hardest part. I say it all the time.
Yes, it is. And I have days where I just stay in bed and cry all freaking day. Like, I'm not going to lie. But I will literally, rest, get up, and I'll do my workout. Like, I don't give up. Got to keep moving the body. Like, that's the only way to fight this, is to keep going
Yeah.
and keep showing up.
I mean, I understand that there's people out there that, they lose that ability to use their hands. Like the guy in Colorado, Jeff, he's the artist, the sculptor, and, he still figures out a way to do his art. He knows that MS did this to him. He knows that it took it away, but he just looks at it and says, you know what, screw you. I'm still going to do my stuff. I still want to design stuff. I still want to build, and I'm going to figure out a way to do it. And the guy, he designs his own mobility devices to help him with his journey. It's just, you can't give up on this disease no matter what it does to you. It does not matter. You just got to figure it out and keep on going.
Yeah. And even some of the MSers that sing, just beautiful voices.
Our introduction to the podcast, Amber K. Amber K is an MSer.
Oh yes, beautiful voice.
Absolute beautiful voice. And then there's another girl in Maryland by the name of Kristen that she sang for the U.S. Navy Choir, and she did a lot of that when she was in the military. She had MS, and there's just so much talent that you can have with or without MS. And even after diagnosis, it's not going to go away from you. It's not like, MS took away the fact that I played football at the University of Michigan or that you did CrossFit. We just got to figure out a different way to use our talents that we had to still keep on living life.
Yeah. Well, I believe that our talents are helping all the other MSers, keeping them going. That's my passion, is just I want to help people. I want them to have a good life. And living with this has been really tough on people. And I know that relationships fail and, life gets hard. But if they could just find a part of themselves that appreciates life again, and they can just keep going, that just melts my heart,
Yeah, absolutely. If you're going to say anything to anybody out there that is listening that might be newer in their diagnosis, they might be a single parent, or even have a child that might be going through an autism diagnosis, trying to get that figured out. What would be what you would tell them to go to keep on fighting?
Well, I would just say never give up hope. Always rest when you need to rest. And, if you have a child that is struggling, never give up hope either with that, because I am waiting for a diagnosis for my daughter. And I get it's really hard, but just know that you're doing an amazing job. If you're a single parent, you are doing an amazing job. If you can still take care of your children and still fight this illness, that is a win, always winning. And the other thing I would say is just, rest when you need to rest. Rest is really important. I know I'm stubborn and I like to just keep going, but my body will be like, no, rest. And just always know that there's an MS community on TikTok. There's a lot of us on there that are fighting this illness. And, check out our videos, watch what we are doing. I just want you to keep going. I want you to have a positive mindset and keep fighting this illness.
I love it, T. I know when I first met you, I knew you were a fighter. I knew you were scared at that time, but just to see where you have come in the last 2 years and how strong-minded you have become, and just to see what you've done with Addie, and you just keep on going, even with your relationships. I know Sharon, my wife, absolutely loves you, and Addie. You guys are almost part of the family.
I love your wife too. She's amazing. It's like I feel like I got adopted by you guys. Like I do. I feel like I got adopted.
T, the one thing that when we first met, and I knew that you lost your father, and I knew that you didn't have that father figure. And I'm not saying I'm trying to be your father, but I just knew that you needed that guy just to support you, and that's just what I wanted to be for you. And it developed into an amazing friendship. I'm glad that we're friends, and I can't wait to meet you someday. I know it's going to happen. I know you're going to be up on stage with me when me and Amber are out doing our thing, and it's going to be a cool thing. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. I'm excited to do traveling and just to talk to people and get awareness out there about this disease that we are fighting. It's
Yep.
just,
Yep.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun ride. All right, I'm going to put Tilly's stuff in the description if you want to follow her on TikTok and just connect with her. She's an awesome lady. If you have any kind of questions with, your kids trying to go through an autism diagnosis or whatever, I mean, Tilly is just amazing with exercise. She understands the body and she's understanding it more and more with having MS and how to push and how not to push. I just really want to thank you for coming on again, Tilly. You're going to be doing a lot of other stuff with me. I know that in the future.
You're
And,
welcome.
and I can't wait to, to finally meet you and Addie and Izzy too.
I'm excited.
All right. If you want to follow, no problem, no problem, T. If you want to follow me on TikTok, I'm MS Michigan Man 64. You can also find me on Instagram, MS Michigan Man 64. And I'm on Facebook, Brian Wallace out of Brunswick, Ohio. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. We want to be understood. The best way to understand us is to listen to us talk. Till the next episode, MS Michigan Man 64. I am out.